Okay guys, today we're going to cover some topics that one, have to do with things you're supposed to have before you come here, or two, that we don't have time to get to. There's some graphing that we'll talk about that we know how to do because we know how to set up a table, but we've never actually graphed this specific type of problem. So these are ones that I want to try to get to before you leave while we're working together. So get to here, let's get started. It says, looking at the spinner, thank you very much. Looking at the spinner, which I'll get that word to come out. Which is the probability of spinning a number divisible by 4? Okay, so guys, first of all, how many numbers are divisible by 4? Look, first of all, what's divisible by 4 on that wheel? 8 and 4. Those are the ones divisible by 4. Okay, and then from there, that's 2. Out of how many things are there total? 8. Reduce that down. 2 over 8 reduces to 1 over 4. There's your answer. Okay, we actually did this problem. It wasn't called, I think it was on test scores, but we did a problem. It's like worded exactly like this earlier in this year. You've got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 scores, but you can't remember the 5th score, so we call it what? X, thank you. In order to average them, you would add them all up. 116 plus 105 plus 109 plus 113 plus X, and you divide by however many there are. How many of them are there? Guys, how many scores are we adding? 5. There's 5 of them. 4 we know and 1 we don't, so that's 5 total. And what is our average? 109. Those look like my bones. Okay, here we go. We're going to multiply and combine like terms, guys. You need to grab your calculators. Add this up. There's one. Just put it back when you're done, okay? I don't have another one. Anybody see one around you? Anybody got one under the desk? Right. There's one right here, so you can grab that real quick. Thank you. Anybody else? If you have one, share, please. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, if you combine those together, what is 116, 105, 109, and 113? 442? 43? It's different people are saying at different times. I can't even, I messed me up. All over 5 equals 109. How do you get rid of the denominator? Thank you. That's going to cancel out. I'm going to carry it up here because I don't want to waste my space down here, guys. Don't carry that way too low because you don't want to end up, you want room to write your table down here. So that's going to make it 443 plus X equals, what's 109 times 5? 5 something. 545. Minus 443 minus 443, and X is going to be equal to 102. And 102 would be your answer. So the 5th score would be 102. Concerns, questions, anything about it? Okay, guys, this next one is going to be different. We have not graphed anything like this yet this year. So this is our chance to set this up. Guys, this is not a quadratic. This is not an exponential. This is not a regular y equals mx plus b linear equation. This is going to be one where you just need to make a table and see what we can plug in and get some answers. Okay, that means you're going to put the x's here. You're going to plug in here in the middle. That's going to give you x minus 4 with a radical sign over the top of it. It's going to give you your y's, and then you're going to have your ordered pairs over here. X comma y. Take a minute, set that up. Some of y'all take a little longer to draw your lines. Sorry. There you go. Now don't fill in numbers yet. I'm going to talk about the numbers and why you can't just put random numbers in this. Okay. So first things first, this is under a radical sign. Can you have a negative under a radical sign? Yes or no? Can you take the square root of a negative number? No, that doesn't work. You can when you get into what's called imaginary numbers. You'll do that in Algebra 2, not in the set of all reals, which is what we work under. So you cannot take the square root of a negative number the way that we're doing this. So think about this, guys. When you're plugging in numbers, what number would make this number inside of here into 0? 4. 4 would make it 0. Watch, I'm going to plug it in. The square root of 4 minus 4 would be the square root of 0, and the square root of 0 is, what's the square root of 0, guys? 0. So my ordered pair would be 4, 0. Alright, graph that point, 4, 0. Go over 4, don't go up or down. It's on the x-axis, it's an x-intercept. 4, 0. There's 4, 0. That's great, you got a point. If I did a number, I'm just going to pick a number. Don't write this down. Don't write this down. Watch. If I pick a number like, let's plug in 0. That'd be the square root of 0 minus 4, which would be the square root of negative 4. Can you take the square root of negative 4? No. So can I go any smaller than 4? No, that is the smallest it will go. It can't go any lower. So the only way we can go is up. Let's keep going up. Let's do 5. That would make it the square root of 5 minus 1, which would be the square root of 4. And what is the square root of 4? No, it's the other way. Do y'all know, see how my mind works ahead? It's the square root of 5 minus 4, which is what? 1. The square root of 1. And what's the square root of 1? 1. And that would make it 5, 1. I'm always jumping to the next thing. I forget to do the middle part. So 5, 1 on the graph. We started off with this point right here. We started off with 4, 0, and then we go to 5 and 1. Go to the right 5 and up 1. Let's see if y'all see what the shape is when we get done with our numbers. Okay, let's try 6. It's not going to be a perfect number. It's going to be a decimal. We're just going to have to round. Don't panic. It's okay. Square root of 6 minus 4 would be the square root of 2. Grab your calculators. Okay, what is the square root of 2? About 1.4. Okay, so that's it just needs to be approximation. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. 1.4. I'll need a bunch of numbers. We're estimating on a graph, guys. We're not going to need a lot of tiny decimals. So that's going to go over to 6 and go up 1 and then almost halfway up the next block. Just under halfway. And let's do 7. We'll do like 2 more. So 7 minus 4 would be the square root of 3. I think it's still 1 point something. 1 point what? 1.7. Thank you. So it'd be the order pair 7 and 1.7. So to graph that, that'd go over to 7 and then go up 1 and then a little past halfway. A little bit past halfway. We're getting closer and closer to that 2. And then the last one, we'll do 8 for our last one. 8 minus 4 would be the square root of 4, which, guys, the square root of 4 should be easy. What is the square root of 4? 2. So it's the ordered pair 8, 2. So we'll go 8, 2. So this is what your shape would look like. It's going to curve up and go straighter and straighter and straighter. Go like that. Guys, do y'all see it's kind of like half of a what? We just graphed these. We just took a test and y'all did amazing. What are those things called? Parabolas. It's half of a parabola going the other way. Okay? It's just like the only thing we get though is the positive side. We can't do the negative side of it. Okay? So it's half of that because the radicals will not let us have negatives. Okay? So it's basically taking half of that. Okay, guys, if you get a thing that you can't graph, make a table. Make a table. You can find a way to graph it. They're going to have a lot of them where you have to like select the graph, draw it on your paper, make a table, and then pick the graph that matches it. Okay, guys, anybody have any questions before we move on from that one? Good? Okay, let's keep going, guys. Okay, these are going to be things that y'all have not seen. This is what we have a set of notes on next Thursday. We are going to have a set of notes that gets more into this. This is just kind of like scratching the surface. This is that thing where you test and talk about mean, median, mode, and range. You were supposed to get those in middle school. Just out of curiosity, how many saw those in middle school? Not enough. Wowza. Okay, some, but not enough. So we're going to have a set of notes on those before the EOC because they always like to test you on them in really weird ways. So I've got a couple of problems on that. First it says you got a set of data, then they added 6 to every single one of them, and you got a new set of data, data set 2, okay? They want you to compare the means. Guys, what does the word means mean? Ooh, does anybody remember that? Really? Ooh, means, the mean is the average. You need to write that down, and you need to, like vocab wise, you need to know what the mean of something is. The mean is the average. It's add them all up, divide by however many you added up. And then the range is going to be the greatest minus the least. Greatest minus the least. Okay guys, so let's just do it right here. Take these and add these all up. You're just going to add them up. You're just going to do it right there in the table. Tell me what that is, and then we're going to divide by 5 because we're adding up 5 numbers.
39.
What was it, 39? 39. And what's 39 divided by 5, guys? 7.8. Perfect. Alright, let's do it again on the bottom. We're going to add all these up. We're going to get a fraction. We're going to divide by 5 again. This is how you find the average. You add up, divide by however many things you added up. Add them up, divide by however many things you're adding up. It's what? 50 what? Oh, I got different numbers. What is it on top? 70? 69? I got different numbers. We got some argument on this. Try it again and make sure. 69? Okay, when you divide that, what does that give you? 13.8? Okay, what they want you to compare is compare the means and tell me how that relates to how they set up the data. Guys, look at them. The means are what? Look at how they're related to each other. How far apart are they? 6. And how far, what did they do to the set of data, to every number in the set of data? They added 6. So the means are 6 apart, just like the data or the numbers or whatever you want to say. The means are 6 apart, just like the data. Okay. Concerns, questions, anything about that concept? Add, divide by the number. Okay, the range is the greatest minus the least. What is the greatest number on the top one? 12. What's the least number on the top one? 3. What's 12 minus 3? 9 would be the range for the top set of numbers. Okay, what's the greatest on the bottom? 18. What's the least on the bottom? 9. The range is 9. Which means the ranges are what? Same. Ranges are the same. The ranges are the same. That's it. The ranges are the same. No matter what you do to the data, the ranges are going to be the same. If you do the same thing to every number, it's going to make the ranges the same. If you multiply by the same number, if you add the same number, it's going to stay the same. Ranges are still the same. Okay, guys, the next one talks about variation. Guys, there's something called direct and inverse variation. One means that if one's going up, the other's got to go up. If one goes up, the other doesn't go in the same order every time. It could go down, it could go up and down, it's just not going to go in the same order. Okay? So, we're going to look at these numbers and see where they go. Look at it, how it goes from here to here. What is happening every time? What? Plus or minus? Plus 11. It matters because you got to decide whether it's going up or down. So it's plus 11 every time. What's it doing on the bottom every time? Plus 0.5 is exactly correct. Plus 0.5. And since these are going up and these are going in the same direction, okay, is it going to be a direct variation or not? Yes, it's going in the same direction. So it's going to be direct. So this is going to be direct. because as V goes up, so does P. Guys, as it goes up, P goes up. It doesn't go like up and then, remember how the ones that are going up, down, quadratics do, they do different things? They go up, then down, then up, they go change, and then one multiplying so it doesn't go consistently and go the same direction. Okay, guys. So, from there, the last one. Guys, anybody heard of box and whisker plots? Yeah. Anybody in middle school? This is like the math that comes from a box and whisker plot. Okay? This is what you're getting. So, it's without the picture, that's what this is. It says find the minimum. Guys, that's just the least. It says find the first quartile. Okay? That's going to be like the middle of the bottom half of the bottom half. I'm telling you, write these down. At least you'll make some connection. You might be able to look at this, or you go in and then you see something and you're like, oh, they always, this isn't, box and whisker are old. You're supposed to have them before they get there, but they love to throw those on the EOC. The median is going to be the one in the middle. The third quartile is going to be the middle of the top half. That's not H. Let me try that again. Middle of the top half. And then the maximum is going to be what? Maximum is the greatest. Top number, greatest number, whatever you want to think of it as, but it's the greatest. Okay, here's the problem. You can't do any of this until you do what with the numbers? Put them in order. You got to put them in order before you do anything else. So let's do this together. Let's set it up. What's the least number out of all these numbers? 65. Cross it out. What's the next number? Y'all see the 68? Oh, see, here's going to be an issue. Everybody sees these numbers and they don't see that two of them rounded down to here. Remember how I talked about on the screen too, that this screen is so small on your computer that a lot of stuff might show up below the bottom of the screen and you need to scroll to the bottom to see everything that's in the problem? My guess is this could be like hidden underneath the bottom of the screen. You wouldn't even see those numbers there. So you have got to scroll down to see everything that's on there to be able to make sure you don't miss anything. So the next number is 68. Cross that out. Is 70 the next one? Mm-hmm. Yep, so that takes care of those two. That makes life easy. What's next? 73. 76. Is there a 79? 79. I know there's the 80. 84. 85. 90. Oh, 88. 88. Oh, you already said that one. I'm sorry. 92 and 97. There we go. Before you do anything else, you need to count to see how many numbers you have. Not the numbers themselves, like not what the numbers are, but how many of them there are. Which one is it, guys? 11 or 12? 12. If, look and see. If there are 12, the first thing I want you to do is count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and put a line. That's the middle. Okay, if there were 13, the one in the middle would be the one single number in the middle, but we don't have one single number in the middle. We have 12, so there's a line in the middle. Reagan, did you find it yet? Okay, look at your numbers. You got the beginning of your list. 65, 68, 70, 73, 76, 79, 84, 85, 88, 89, 97. Oh, 92. Oh, thank you. There, y'all said 80? Okay, hold on. Let's go back. Where does it go? Thank you. So where is it? So we got 73. What comes after 73? 76, 79, and 80. So now we got it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's still there. Okay. Now you got it, Reagan. Hold on. She's still fixing. Huh?
covered it.
Oh, sorry, I can't help that. Y'all are funny. Y'all are like, You can just say I covered it up. Thank you. You got it now? Good. Thank you for saying something, not just sitting there. Okay, guys, here we go. Now you've got the middle. To find the least, guys, tell me what number's the least. 65. What number's the greatest? 97. I don't know. 97. Okay. The one in the middle is a little different, guys. How many numbers are in the middle? There's none. If there's none in the middle, then this is what you have to do. You have to average the two that are on either side of that line. So on either side of that line, you got a 79 and an 80. You're going to add those together and divide by 2. You average the two that are in the middle. So 79 plus 80 divided by 2 would put you at, is it 79.5? Yes? Okay. 79.5. Okay, now we're going to look at the bottom half. Look at the bottom. How many are on the bottom half, guys? Count. Total on the bottom half. There's 6 of them on the bottom half. 6. There's 1, 2, 3. Put a line. And then 1, 2, 3. Okay, is there one in the middle on the bottom half? No. So again, you have to take the 2 on either side of that line. You have to add them together. And you have to divide by 2. 71.5. There we go. Alright, guys, if you have to do it on the bottom half, you should have to do it on the top half because you're supposed to have the same amount on either side. So on this side, there's going to be 1, 2, 3, put a line, and then 1, 2, 3. The 2 on either side would be these two, so you'd add 85 plus 88 divided by 2. 85 plus 88 divided by 2 would put you at what? 86.5. And 86.5 is going to be your third quartile. Okay, does anybody have any questions about what we just did? Now would be your time to ask. No? Just so we know, guys, if you saw this on a graph, this would have a line here. It would come up, the box would start here, it'd end here. Then you'd have wherever the 79.5 is, you'd have a line in the middle. It's not this, it's not the middle of the box, but it's like somewhere in between. And then it'd have another line going out this way, and the other line would be at the 97. Does that make sense? Anybody have any questions? Okay, let's keep going. So for the next one, we have not seen this at all. Listen to me, guys. If something is uniform, it's going to be what? Oh, guys, if everybody in the same place wore a uniform, we would all look what? The same. So if something is uniform on a graph, most of the numbers are the same. They go about straight across. Now, they don't have to be exactly, but they need to be close to each other. If a graph is symmetrical, that means it's going to make a curve like a parabola. It's going to go up the same or it's going to go down the same. And its numbers are going to be similar on either side of the graph. Now, they don't have to be identical, but like if you have 10 over here and 9 over here, and then it comes down and this one's like 5 and this one's 6, and in the middle it's like 2, and that's symmetrical. They're about the same on either side. Okay? If it's skewed, that means most of the scores are going to be towards one side or towards the other. Okay? So we're going to start by putting this set of data. Guys, if you get a set of data, the first thing you got to do is put it in order every single time. So let's put this in order. So starting off with, there's several zeros. How many zeros are there? 2. There's 3 of them. 1, 2, 3 zeros, then a 2. What comes next? 4. Down here. 4. Then a 5. Let's cross that out. Is there a 6, 7? There's an 8. There's a, where's your 10? Oh, thank you, 10. Thank you for saying that. 2 12s. Let me get 2 12s and cross them out. 12 and 12. What's next? 2 15s. So 2 15s. And then a 16 and a 26. Okay, so this is going to be a little different than you had before. You're not putting individual numbers on there. This is for what's called a histogram. Guys, a histogram is just a fancy name for a bar graph. Please don't make it something complicated. It's a bar graph. In order to do a bar graph, you got to have ranges. Yes, sir? Yeah. So you got to do ranges. So those ranges are going to be set up for you either ahead of time or you're going to have to do it. So the whole idea is it's going to go like from 0 to 5. Guys, if it goes 0 to 5, what's the next group going to be? From 6 to what? Guys, 0 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 15. Thank you, we're catching on. The next one would be 16 to what, guys? 16 to what? 20. And then 21 to 25. And the last one would be 26 to 30. They're grouped. They're grouped in order to make a bar graph. Look at the bottom of this bar graph. You can look right here. This one has them right here. See how they're grouped together? That's what it is. It's that same concept. So looking at this, how many of these numbers fall in the 0 to 5 range? Count them. Check them off. Yes, 6. How many fall in the 6 to 10 range? Sorry, I was just looking at what that was. Attention students. Sorry, I want to see what that is for y'all. Hold on one second. I just want to make sure. Attention, guidance counselor will be in the cafeteria all class periods this Thursday and Friday to discuss course requests. That's next week. So next Thursday and Friday, if you have any issues, then they'll have guidance counselors in the cafeteria next week during the class periods in case you want to go down there. Not during mine because we have an EOC the next week, the next Monday and Tuesday after that. So find another period, but definitely go down there if you need to see them about your schedule. Okay, guys, here we go. From 6 to 10, what was it? I'm sorry. 2. From 11 to 15? 4. From 16 to 20? 1. 21 to 25? And then 26 to 30. Okay, you should be able to tell me this, but let's see if you get this. Is it uniform, symmetric, or skewed? Okay, let's ask it. Wait, y'all aren't sure, so let's ask this. Are they all the same? No. Are they going even, like both sides are big going to little, or both sides are little and going down to big, or whatever it is? No. Are more of the numbers all on one side? Yes. Look, on this half, there's a total of 12 of them. On this half, there's only 2. It's very skewed. It's skewed very much to the lower end of that scale. Skewed. You're going to have to be able to tell me that. That's in the notes that we have next Thursday, just in case you've never seen that. We've got more on that coming. They love to ask questions on histogram bar graphs. They love anything with a picture. They love it. Okay, guys, here we go. This is another one that's about a histogram. It's going to ask you about how many students are age 18 to 37 that graduated. So look right here. 18 to 37. This whole area. So we're talking about this group, this group, this group, and this group, but there's nothing in that one. So that one's easy. That one's 0. So in this bar graph, this is the line for this one, this is the line for this one, and this lines up with this one. Well, this one's 10 because that one lines up with the number. But we do need to figure out what they're counting by. What are they counting by for every one of the little marks? So if this one's 10, this one will be 12, 14, 16, and 18. So the first bar graph that we need to count up is going to be what? 16. The second one is going to be how much? 18. And then we got 10 and we got 0. So add those up. How many people were in that age range? 34. 34 or 40? I thought I heard, that's me just hearing it wrong. 44? There we go. Perfect. Anybody have any questions? I'm trying to get as many done as I can, guys. Here we go. For the next one, guys, you're not going to see this. We did something like this, but we didn't do it with radicals on the bottom like this. So listen, if you have something like this and you have this where it's plus or minus on the bottom, and you've got to get these, you cannot leave. We did it with radicals on the bottom, but we didn't do it with a plus or minus with 2 radicals on the bottom. I'm going to show you what this is. You're going to have to use what's called a conjugate. They may throw you one. This might be the difference between like that 3 and that 4, or that 4 and that 5 for some of y'all. Here we go. We're going to multiply by the exact same thing, square root of 11 and the square root of 7. but instead of having a plus, you're going to have a minus. It's kind of like the idea of the difference of perfect squares, guys. 1 plus 1 minus cancels out the middle stuff. Okay, and on the top up here, it's going to be times the exact same thing. Okay, 5 times the square root of 11 is just going to be 5 square roots of 11. Minus 5 times the square root of 7 is going to be 5 square roots of 7. All over. This is where you got to pay attention, guys. What's going to happen to the two middle terms for FOILing when you have a plus and a minus? Ooh, you need to know this. X plus 4 times x minus 4. If I multiply this, this would be x squared. This would be minus 4x. This would be plus 4x. And this would be minus 16. What is going to happen to the middle two terms? They're going to cancel each other out. That's why we do a plus and a minus. If the first one's minus, we do a plus. If the first one's plus, we do a minus. Because the middle two terms are going to cancel out. So I'm just going to multiply the first two. What is the square root of 11 times the square root of 11? Please, for God's sakes, tell me what that is. 11. Thank you. And what is the square root of 7 times the square root of 7? 7. You have no radicals anymore. The radicals went away because the middle two terms just disappear. Because it would be plus the square root of 77 and minus the square root of 77, but those cancel out. So then to simplify this, it would be 5 square roots of 11 minus 5 square roots of 7 all over. What is 11 minus 7? Guys, it's just 4. Don't make it hard. 4. There you go. How do you know to stop? Because what's not on the bottom anymore? What's not on the bottom? Radicals. There are no radicals on the bottom anymore. There we go. Okay, let's keep going. We've got 10 minutes. We can get some of these done. I'm trying to do as many so you don't have any homework. So we can, we're going to may have a little. We'll see. See what we can get to. This is exactly the wait, what, did y'all want to skip? You know how to do. This is like your homework we just did. This is law and division. Oh, I skipped one? Oh, this is easy. Oh, you need to see this. Oh my God, they're going to do this. Guys, draw a right triangle. We did this earlier in the year, but we haven't seen it in a long time. We only did it I think 2 times, but like barely. We did like one little bit and one little bit. Okay, one leg of the right triangle is 12. Doesn't matter which leg. Legs are the ones connected to the right angle, guys. The hypotenuse is the one that's across from here, so the hypotenuse is 15. And you don't know what the other leg is. What do you call it if you don't know the other leg? X. What do you do when you know 2 sides of a right triangle and you want to find the third? Huh? Yes, close. It's the what? Not AX, but you have the right idea. A squared, someone said A squared plus B squared equals C squared. It's called Pythagorean theorem. Pythagorean theorem. You're going to see it like 82 times a day, it seems like, in geometry. We're doing EOC review. They hit it in on the EOC review we did today, had 16 problems. It was on like 4 of them. It's hidden. It's like in weird places. So A squared plus B squared is C. The only one that matters, guys, A and B are interchangeable. They're the legs. C has to be the hypotenuse. So it's going to be x squared plus 12 squared equals 15 squared. That's x squared plus, what is 12 squared, guys? 144, right? What's 15 squared? 225. Minus that 144. Minus that 144. X squared equals, y'all have the math, not me. 81? Oh, that's easy, because what's the square root of 81? 9. That looks like 9. It's A. 9. So do something so you can see that's the answer, so you know when you're asked. Okay. Guys, which one's the hypotenuse? The one that's always across from the what? The right angle. Okay, guys. The one across from the right angle. So I want to skip down and talk a little bit about down here. So first of all, this problem is exactly like your homework. You would switch this to multiplication and flip the second one, factor them, use diamonds, and you'd be good from there. Okay. This one is what kind of division? Long division where you set it up with the big, division symbol. So I'm going to skip those two, go down to the next one just because this one's a little bit harder. So if we get to here, I'm telling you, we'll make your life easier. Okay guys, so this is a proportion. Do you remember how you cross multiply and do all that kind of stuff and you do things like that? Well, we're going to cross multiply this. Okay, it's going to be x squared times x minus 3 equals x minus 3. Oh, I'm going to write the 9 in front just because y'all do better when I write the number in front. 9 times x minus 3. Okay, don't multiply it, I'm telling you. I'm going to make your lives drastically easier. Guys, do y'all see the x minus 3 is in both of them? You see you can just cancel it out. Divide both sides by x minus 3. That goes away, that goes away. You get x squared equals 9. How do you undo a square? What's the opposite of squaring it? Radicals, take the square root. Those are both the same thing, guys. I heard radical, that's fine. That's the same thing. And that would be, what is the square root of 9? 3. There you go. Okay. Probability at a randomly generated number from 1 to 10 is not prime. So we need to go through the list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Prime numbers. Go through and look. Look them up. Think which ones are prime. What makes something prime, guys? It can't be divided by anything but what? Huh? 1 and itself. There we go. 1 and itself. The biggest thing that people get wrong, and I looked it up, I'm going to bring it over the screen because every time people get this wrong. Look at that. Is 1 a prime number? No. Because the only factor of 1 is 1. People get that wrong every time, and they want to put that in, and they circle it, and they put it as a prime number, and it's not correct. That is not prime. So here we go. 1 is out. That's not prime. Is 2 prime? No. Yes. What are the factors of 2? 1 and 2. That's prime. What are the factors of 3? 1 and 3. That's prime. What are the factors of 4? 1, 2, and 4. That's out. What about 5? 1 and 5. That's prime. 6. 1, 2, 3, 6. That's out. 7. Yeah, 1 and 7. That's prime. 8. 1, 2, 4, 8. Yeah, that one's out. 9. 1, 3, and 9. That's out. 10. 1, 2, 5, 10. Just so we can see what they actually are. So how many of them are prime? 4. 4. 4 of them are prime out of how many? 10. That's not correct. That's not the right answer. I'm telling you, if you don't reread every question on this test before you answer it, you're going to make careless errors. Read the question again and tell me why that's not the correct answer. No. You have to find the probability. They didn't ask if it was prime. They asked if it was not prime. How many of them are not prime? 6 out of 10, which reduces to 3 out of 5. Okay, guys. You only got a couple problems. Good. That means you're paying attention. That's good. Guys, every problem you do, you need to reread before you answer it on the EOC. Yes, ma'am. Up to number, what number? 15? 13? Thank you. 13. Yep. I can't see you. Yeah. Okay, guys, Monday's the last day that's like this. The rest of them won't be different. We're on to weird stuff. Testing world has begun. Guys, so we have a good weekend. Thank you.